It began when I realized that it was time to get a credit card because you need a credit card to rent a car, you need a credit card to order things online, and I thought it was a good idea to get my credit going. So I asked the bank what should I do to get credit to get my first credit card, and they said, first thing they said would be to start off with an overdraft on the bank account. And I got that. It started off as a $100 overdraft, which was okay. So you had a bit of money to play with, you had a bill to pay. And then I moved up to $500, and that's when you start realizing that you can get more money than what you really have. I thought everybody's doing this, right? Everybody's got their credit cards, you see it on TV and everything, it was good. But then, once the monetary situation got pretty bad, I started, you start lying to your parents where the such and such money is going or why you can't go to a certain event. And then eventually it hits you like a ton of bricks and you realize, well, I was one of the lucky ones to realize I have to stop right now. I had to get help. I was proud of the fact that I wasn't being hounded by collectors and all that. It was still under control, basically. I liked being in control, I liked the fact that I was able to pay it off, and it was doing okay, But it's like you think about it every night because it's getting bigger, the debt's getting bigger, and I made the mistakes of going with some loans that were extremely high on the credit level. So it got to the point where it was a big bubble, and that it was going to blow, and you had to admit it. So I had to tell my parents. I had to go to the bank and face them and let them know, is there anything we can do, like reconsolidate the debt or whatever. And when they said that, when you go to that last meeting and they say, we can't do it, you're going to have to either go bankrupt or go into debt repayment with somebody. And luckily, they gave me your names. So yeah, it's pretty tough when you realize that you're either going to be bankrupt or, just a mention of bankruptcy is quite embarrassing. They made me feel terrible because they basically said, and I hadn't missed a payment till then, but they basically shut the door. I mean, it was really cold. It was basically, we can't consolidate that. You've gotten to a point right now where your 75% of your paycheck is might not have been that high, but they said that you're at risk now. I wasn't at risk when they were giving me the credit cards or the loans, but now they were like, nuh-uh, we don't want anything to do with you. You're out of our hands. We don't want to see you, basically. They literally took me out of the office and said, bye-bye, either go to CCS or declare bankruptcy. No trying to help, nothing. Just a few taps on the computers and realized, nope, sorry, can't consolidate. Goodbye. Telling my parents was the hardest part because I realized I was going to need their help. So either they were going to be really mad and not help me at all, or they were going to help me. But either way, it was shameful, and you realize that you let them down. So it was pretty hard at that point, and you realize that that $20,000, you could have saved it and used it for something else, like buying your car or going on a trip, which had to make a lot of sacrifice after. When you start doing the debt repayment, you realize that that's money you could have used a lot in a more wiser way than what you did. Well, it got to the point where I was gonna have to ask my parents for money, and you couldn't lie. It's pretty shocking. You have to admit that basically you failed financially, and you have to admit the truth that you were spending not your money but virtual money, and you realize that pretty fast you're $20,000 in debt and you have to pay it back. And I refuse to go bankruptcy because I feel I did the mistake. I got to pay for it. It was very hard. Pretty much broke down because it's very embarrassing. And my parents, I mean, they did a lot for me, and to lay this on them and asking them for a little help and all that after everything they've done for me already, helped me pay university and all that, it felt very shameful. It was either going to go two ways. Either they didn't want to do anything with me, or they were going to, help me through this, and luckily they helped me through this, but it was very tough. They were not very happy, and I was not very happy, and they felt I let them down. So it was pretty nerve-wracking when the first meeting, when they're calculating seeing all your debts, your bank payments, and all that, and they go through it and all that, and they decide what kind of payment, you make your budget, and then there was a relief when she told me that yes, we can probably do this in 5 years if you follow a strict budget. It's tough because your friends are going out and all that, and you have to explain to them that, you know, well, you can't afford that. You have to keep steady and go by your budget, and you have to make a lot of sacrifice. But in the long run, you know, you pay it off, and then you get, as much as it's shameful then, once you've paid it off, the pride is there, you're back because you managed to pay it back. It's very important that people realize that it can be done, and you have to work at it. But as much as easy as it was to get the money and as hard as it is to pay it back, you have to do it because, I mean, this is your mistake. And you realize you made that mistake, and and I feel that it's important to pay it back because, you know, and then you get your pride back. You don't feel as embarrassed anymore. And you can talk about it more easily because you can show people that, you know, sure, you were down and out of luck, but now you've paid it off, and you can have your head up high and say, you know, I did it. And some friends of mine that I talked to that had the same situation, they did go bankruptcy, and they felt the embarrassment of bankruptcy and, you know, having it everywhere on your credit score. And they were shocked that I managed to repay it. They were proud, you know. They said, you know, it was easier for me to go bankrupt than paying it back, and you paid it back. So they were very proud, you know. It's an important thing to do. I would describe them as the most fantastic company that I've ever met, to be honest, because they're really nice. They treat you as a client. They treat you as you're doing. They make you think that you're doing it. In a way, you are. But if it wasn't for their help, like even now after I was done, they thanked me and they said I did a great job. And I felt, no, I should be thanking you. If it had been for you guys, I would never have gotten out of it, basically. So they're really helpful. They give you lots of counseling, and they give you all kinds of resources, and really, honestly, I recommend them to everybody that I meet that are having financial problems.